Welcome to the Scarecrow's Hour.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Uncle Sam. Welcome to the Scarecrow Hour.
Yeah, welcome. We're all outstanding. Believe it or not, this is a much better intro than we just did. So don't worry about all that.
Oh man, it's good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you back down here in the Scarecrow Dojo.
It's nice to be back. Got it all set up.
Yeah,
Kinda.
yeah. Always trying new things with new technologies and whatnot. I'm kind of a low tech redneck, so this stuff I don't know. I was trying to figure out how this one piece of equipment worked, and Sam was like, "That's a tripod, dude." It literally just holds something. I'm like, oh, does it got Wi-Fi?
It's like, where's the power button on this?
Yeah.
It doesn't turn on. It's like you set the camera on top of it.
Okay. Does it need to be plugged in? Does it need a cord?
Well, I think that was the confusion last time, is he just sees the cord coming from the tripod. It's actually coming from the camera, and I think we have that cleared up now, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. I wrote it down.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty good about it.
But that's all fun and games.
I may not know technology, but I do know movies. Well, I mean, I watch a lot of movies.
He watches a lot of movies. I like to watch movies too. We share that in common. Did you know that?
I was starting to put it together.
Huh.
I was going back watching old episodes. I was like, that's so crazy that we both saw that movie that we talked about.
I know. It's almost like it was meant to be.
Yeah. One day we really need to, I don't know, do a movie like neither of us have seen. And just like,
how would that work?
It wouldn't, but it would be kind of funny for
We can just make up our own opinions of it.
Yeah. Or we'll do
so what I heard about it was this.
Yeah, it's like online I heard that movie's trash and it's the worst thing ever, and the people that made it should jump off something large. It apparently offended people with its suckiness.
Well, speaking of offending people, and a franchise that has at least one movie of suckiness, but
there might be three.
I like those other two. It's just one of them is just you can't see a damn thing.
Yeah, you just close your eyes and listen to it. It's like an audiobook movie.
Squint. But we're all right. Well, let's go ahead and what are we talking about?
Today we're going to be talking about the third installment to the Predator franchise.
All right.
Predators. With an S. That's plural.
It's 2010, directed by Nimrod Antle, produced by Troublemaker Studios, which is Robert Rodriguez.
Yes. You know, if you would have asked me before who directed this movie, I would have just said Robert Rodriguez directed it.
Yeah.
It didn't really occur to me that there was a different director.
Yes.
You know, that Rodriguez did co-write it, though. That he did.
Well, it was his studio. It was a lot of his production and stuff. I was looking. I don't know. I didn't see his name on credits for it.
Well, my understanding that he
I was thinking whenever I watched the DVD, because I have the DVD, and I almost got it out because that whole timestamp thing kind of irritated me last night, and so I almost went and done, but I'd had to dig through
Yeah, I couldn't even tell where my DVD.
I know where it is. I actually know where it is now that I think about it, but. Yeah, but I could have sworn that he had more involvement in it than what it shows online.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, though, he co-wrote it. In fact, I believe he wrote it 15 years before it was ever made, and as a pitch. And for whatever reason, it didn't, because that happens. People, studios get different people to write movies and stuff that never get made or whatever. So I think I could be confused on that. I could be wrong. I don't know. Like I said, I don't claim to be right about everything, and in fact there was some stuff I had to about this movie I had to go fact check to make sure I wasn't wrong about it, because some of it was rumor and speculation. Some I still don't know, because I've heard conflicting things, and I'll talk more about them when we get to them.
Well, both James and I have been fans of the Predator franchise for a long time, and we both of us are part of a group on Facebook, and if any of you people are watching this, chill.
First off, they're not, because they won't let me post.
They won't let us advertise there, and
Yeah.
that's fine. I get it.
That's
But
our
look, man, there's all kinds of people out there with all sorts of theories and ideas and interesting stuff. We are not those people.
Oh no.
We have some fun ideas and thoughts and stuff, but that's not what this is. We're just gonna go through this movie. We're gonna talk about it, and hopefully, encourage you to rewatch it or watch it for the
Yeah.
first time.
Because I think I don't. That's something. The reason we chose this because you think the obvious choice would be the original Predator, but the reason we decided to not do that was number one. They're like that's been discussed. So much. You don't get as much about Predators, and we both kind of feel like it might be our. I'm not saying it is the best one. I'm saying it's like kind of our favorite.
Yes,
You know?
yeah, that's and I agree with James there too. I'm not gonna say that it's the best one. It's definitely not the best story. It has some better effects than some of the other ones, obviously because it's newer, but it's probably my more favorite of them.
Well, yeah, because it's fun. It is a movie. You know what I'm saying? When I watch this, it's like there are films and there are movies.
Right.
This is a movie.
It's an action
You
movie
know?
all the way through.
Yeah, and you don't get here without the original Predator, obviously.
Right.
Like to really appreciate this movie, you do need to be familiar with the original Predator to really appreciate it because we get several callbacks.
Yeah, I was gonna say the callbacks to the original Predator are all in it. So it's
And in fact, real quick, I like the name Predators too.
Right.
Because it's got like that double meaning to it. Because of course we're talking about the aliens that we've both decided we don't know how to pronounce their proper name. Like
CM Punk is
being a
he's
punk.
being a punk.
Careful, he'll walk out on you. Anyway, that's another conversation. But so it's a double meaning because the alien predators. You want to try to say that name, the proper name of the predators species? I always end up saying like Yakuza or something.
Yautja. It's
Yautja?
like YAYO.
Yeah, so they do have a proper name.
Yeah,
We're just not.
Yautja.
We're not gonna make ourselves.
I
sound
guess
too
it comes from the
stupid.
comic book.
I don't know. I really don't know. That's a good.
I meant to look that up
there's
because
a-
it's all over the fan pages and stuff and whatnot. You'll see it. You'll
Yeah.
see it spelled out. And I looked it up like the pronunciation, and there were several different pronunciations because it's so that's what makes me think that it might have come from the comic book and that there's not someone actually
Yeah,
pronouncing it.
It's never been, to my knowledge, never been mentioned in any of the movies.
I
or
didn't think
nothing.
so either.
But they're just predators.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like we know, like the aliens are xenomorph and aliens, but that's different.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you got your predator aliens. They're predators, but also the group of people they've collected together are also predators.
Yeah, a bunch of killers.
Yeah, a bunch of killers, bunch of bad.
So
dudes.
talking about the people that they have gathered together, we've got
Oh, and also real quick, also about predators. I hear that's also a bit of a nod to James Cameron's Aliens. You know what I mean? So it was like aliens, predator. Because
Yeah.
going into this, Robert Rodriguez said he didn't want any references to any of the other movies except for the original. You know,
which there's not either.
there's some references to aliens. in there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, a couple lines, but that's it.
Yeah, but talking about the Predator movies, the only one that they even mention is the first one.
Yeah.
So talking about the people, we started off with let's go down the cast real quick. We got Adrian Brody.
Yeah. Wait. Okay, I'll let you run through these, and then I'll shoot my opinions.
Yeah, we'll just do a quick cast rundown, and then we'll get on we'll start on the movie itself. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to talk about the cast a little bit too
Good,
after
good,
you do
cool.
the rundown.
So we got Adrian Brody. I want to say Larry Fishburne.
Larry Fishburne.
Fishburne.
You might recognize Larry Fishburne from Pee-wee's Playhouse or Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he is billed as Larry Fishburne.
Yeah, but it's Lawrence. It's good old Lawrence Fishburne. Everybody knows him now. Back then it was Larry. We have Lawrence Fishburne, Topher Grace, Alice Braga, Walton Goggins,
Yeah.
Danny Trejo. we got some Walton Goggins fans in the house.
I love that guy. Even my wife loves him now. She used to hate him because he's so hateable. Like he's got like the most hateable face. You know, he just does. But like
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, especially the big forehead,
the big
and
forehead
the high
and the teeth, and then plus most of us were introduced to him as Shane from
yeah,
The
he's a
Shield.
bad guy.
But what's funny is you know what won her over was you ever watch Vice Principals?
Oh yeah,
Dude.
yeah. Yeah.
He's so good. I'm
Yeah.
burning this place down. whenever you've got freaking Kenny Powers as the straight guy, in the group.
Oh yeah, Danny McBride and him are in that HBO Vice Principal. I think there's like 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think there's 2. Yeah, my brother showed me that stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had
dude,
to just because
yeah,
those
it's
two. I was like, I
hilarious.
gotta check this
Yeah,
out.
it's good stuff. Yeah, it's hilarious. So Walton Goggins, Danny Trejo, Luis Ozawa.
Hey, real quick, do you know how Danny Trejo got this part?
Remind me.
There was the script was floating around, and he saw it, and the character was described as looks like Danny Trejo.
Oh, that's right.
And he reached out to Robert Rodriguez like, I heard you're looking for somebody who looks like Danny Trejo. I look like Danny Trejo.
Which who did all the Machete movies?
Danny Trejo, Robert Rodriguez.
Hey.
Well, yeah, and also you go back from Dusk Till Dawn. You know, he's been with him forever. So it's almost like, how do you do that? That's like if you've been like doing this podcast, you're like, oh, I want somebody who acts like, looks like, talks like James.
It's kind of like just put it out there without actually telling you.
Yeah,
It's kind of like I'm looking for someone that kind of looks like my friend James.
I'm looking to recast Random Ninja.
I've got a friend named James. He looks like your friend James.
James,
Oh.
it's like I was born for this.
Wow.
Continue, son.
I don't know how to pronounce Nikolai's
Oleg.
Oleg
That dude, you want to talk about a legit bad dude?
Toktarov, and then Mahershala Ali is on
Ali. Oh
Mombasa.
yeah. Dude, I did not.
He's in a bunch of stuff.
He
too.
does a lot of stuff with Marvel.
This is a really good cast.
You know he's the new Blade, right?
That's who it is.
He looks so different in this movie than he does in anything else I've seen him in. Like whenever I kind of became a fan of him later, and I was looking at stuff, I was like, he was in Predators, and then I was like, oh, dude, yeah. I was like, yeah, because he's bald and the voice he uses really isn't, because he's got kind of that deep voice. But in this, he's got an accent.
Yeah.
So it really shows his range.
Yeah, because I had to go back and look. He was in like Black Swan and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was also in Luke Cage.
Yes, he was.
He was Cottonmouth, I believe.
Yes.
He was a voice in one of the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Maybe I think it's the first one. He was a voice in there. So yeah, no, I like that guy. I'm excited to see his Blade.
So what did you think about Adrian Brody?
Okay, first off, like Adrian Brody was never on my radar before. I really just never cared about Adrian Brody. This movie made me a fan of Adrian Brody. Like, because I really hadn't seen him in much, like King Kong and stuff, but I kind of chalked him up to just not my cup of tea with his movies. Just weren't my go-tos. But this, I really bought him as an action star, and I think he plays the character so well. It's just that like he doesn't lean one way or the other. He's like, I'm here, I'm a survivor, I'm a leader if you follow me, I'm a loner if you don't, just and everybody just kind of the way they gravitate to him, and he seems to have the best idea what's going on.
Right. He's just kind of shows up like, I think I know what the hell I need to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to survive this the best that I can, and he's very confident in himself, and so he's like,
yeah,
I'm going to do this. You can either come with me or you can stay behind. That's your choice, but I'm moving forward, and this is what I'm doing.
Right on. So it's like, he's not like a lot of times in movies they get that one dimension where it's like, no, I'm by myself, you know, or everybody would follow me. He's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah, it's kind of like, that he can work with the team, that he can, and he's willing to, but he's going to survive, and he's not just, he does show some emotion.
So yeah, after this movie, it really, now when Adrian Brody's in something, I'm like, oh, cool,
right.
Royce, nice.
Yeah, I know there was a couple things that I wound up going back and checking out since then, because, he, this is an action movie, and I've seen him in some other action movies, but then again, he also does stuff with Wes Anderson.
Oh yeah, sure.
So it's like he's got a.
If you ever get the chance, I forget
range,
what channel it's on, but it's on it's an exclusive to some channel, and it's not like Stars or HBO or anything. I forget what it is, but there's this. I think it's called Chapel White. Anyway, it's basically it's loosely a prequel to Salem's Lot. but it's pretty good. It does suffer that same thing as that one Predator Alien movie with it's kind of dark.
Yeah.
You know, so just make sure all your lights are off. But if you ever want to watch something kind of spooky, gothic, you know, but pretty cool too. It is based on a Stephen King story. Like I said, it was, you know, it's a prequel to.
So is it like based on Jerusalem's Lot?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Well, because there's Salem's Lot and then there's Jerusalem's Lot.
Yeah.
They're two different.
It's still Jerusalem, but
Yeah, but they're two different stories.
right. This is based on Jerusalem.
Okay. Yeah. Because Jerusalem's Lot was the first short story, and then Salem's Lot was the book that came after that.
Yeah. See, I didn't really know which one, because as much as I've said this before, as much as I love Stephen King movies, I've read one Stephen King book, Cycle of the Werewolf, and if you know the page count, that is not impressive.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say Oleg, the guy that plays Nikolai.
Yes.
Like that dude, he's a legit tough guy, man. He was in the old UFC. I think he was a super fight champion, like back pre Dana White UFC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the dude was also like Russian military, legit. He's like trained KGB agents and stuff with hand to hand combat and whatnot. So I mean, that dude's legit, you know. Russian bear is what they called him.
Russian bear.
Yeah.
Topher Grace, I was surprised.
Yeah, this is a good role for him too.
But yeah, it does work out really well for him.
I think that I mean, as you know, the actor and stuff, you know, it was good to see him in something that wasn't just like a comedy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that '70s show was, you know, it was a big hit.
Yeah.
He did some other movies. Like, I really did not like him as Venom.
Oh gosh, no, that was horrible.
That was pretty bad.
That was really bad.
Yeah.
That was just.
I hate to be a critic, but that was
That was. It just as a fan, I'm not as a critic.
Yeah.
As a fan, I did not appreciate it.
that was very disappointing.
Yeah. It's like,
Because I mean, it shouldn't have been hard to make Venom not cool. You know?
yeah, you really got to go up.
Yeah. You could have just had him in there and did nothing, and that would have been cooler. Just stand there. You don't, you know, whatever, you know.
Yeah,
but that was Sam Raimi. It's like, come on, man, I trust you.
And I don't know.
I don't know. There was supposed to be a fourth one of those that never got made. Who knows now the way things are now? I mean, they might. Who knows, man? But yeah, dude. Like, so Topher Grace, this, like I said, I liked him in it a lot. He's kind of the, I pegged him as the medic, you know, watching the movie.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I was like, okay, they gave him a medic because, you know,
Yeah, he's a doctor and stuff.
But honestly, we should really talk about how this movie starts. Like, is there a better way to start a movie? Because some movies start off very slow and they gradually build. This completely does not. This starts off like it was only going to be a 5-minute long movie or something, you know, because they're like, let's get into it. It starts with Royce mid-fall. By the way, I went and saw this in the theaters, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to Weatherford to make sure I saw this in theaters, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and like, man, as soon as that started, I was just like, I was in it, you know. I was like, yeah. What about you? When was the first time you saw it?
On DVD. Right when it hit DVD.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was around the time I'd moved back from Mississippi.
Oh, right. Yeah. 2010, huh?
Yeah.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I actually got really irritated in theater because there was a couple in there that would not stop talking.
Yeah.
And I've had a bad history with not handling that well. I handle it very well these days. But like, you know, and I was like, Dad, go! I just stood up. I was like, Dad, gum! I walked like right because I had to walk to them to move.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are you just gonna come to the movie and have a conversation? They got quiet. Then I like went and sat down like almost at the front. Like, well, I'm gonna have to deal with that when we're done.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I went, like, when it was over, I just went out there, threw my drink cup in the trash, stood there by the trash can. They came out, they walked by me. That was that. Nothing happened. But I was like, because whatever, I might pop off, but I'm not gonna run away. You know, if you want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation. Not trying to be a tough guy, you know. If you want to say, hey man, well, you got a problem? I'm like, yeah, I do. You know?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Well, when you're in the theater and you pay your money to
Yeah.
sit there and watch a movie, and then somebody is choosing to distract you.
Yeah.
This isn't something it was not sneezing, it wasn't coughing.
Yeah.
You know, when they are making choices to distract you, they are essentially taking from you. they're taking that experience from you, and it's like and they don't have the right to do that. People don't have the right to take your experience from you. You know, unless they're going to start giving you money on your ticket. Like, I'm sorry, you paid for this experience and I screwed it up, so I guess there's a buck. I don't know how it works. Handful of popcorn. I don't know. But just
start passing the juju beans.
like, I am far past expecting respect from anybody in this world. But let's have some consideration.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're not in your living room. Just
yeah, it's like some people just don't even care.
oh my gosh, when we saw it was 2010 when we saw the Wolfman.
Yeah.
This family was in front of us, dude. They moved in. They had like their blankets and stuff and all this, and their kids were just running around.
Really?
Dude, it's an R-rated movie. They got these little kids. I was hot about it, but anyway, that's not the conversation. We're talking about how this movie starts with Royce falling, which is just a great way to start a movie. I think every movie should at least consider. You need a minute?
Yeah, you would think.
Not you, not your draw.
No, but so Royce is free falling.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to hit the button and stuff on his chest. Because even right then, he's showing that he's doing something. He's not panicking, you know. Kind of already showing you the character. He's
Well, yeah, he notices that there's something there, and he starts banging on it, and it's not opening up. He just
and then when it
it
does
opens like right before he hits the trees.
right before the trees. Which if movies have taught me anything, it's like you could jump from the highest point in the world as long as you hit a tree on the way down. You'll be fine.
He bounces off every tree going down, which of course, as soon as he hits the trees, then it flashes Troublemaker Studios, and then he comes to with him in the jungle looking around.
Yeah, when he's quickly Danny Trejo. He's the
Yeah,
next one down.
yeah. Chuchillo just boom.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I love Danny Trejo, man. Like, it's so cool that he's had the career that he's had, and he's just like, I don't know, everybody knows him, you know.
Well, yeah, he went from being a thug to having Trejo's tacos.
You know, yeah, Danny Trejo is like awesome. Now you run into a guy that looks like Danny Trejo.
Yeah,
That's scary.
yeah.
Seriously, I mean, I don't mean that no kind of way. I'm just saying it is. He's a scary looking dude. And then you're like, oh, it's one thing when he's on movies playing characters. It's like, but in real life, you're like, dude, I'm gonna walk over here. You know, you look mad and kind of ugly, brother. Just saying, man. In your face. But yeah, which all these guys, which that's when they get blasted by old Painless. Right?
Well, he pops up, pulls his guns, and Royce is like, or we don't know his name's Royce. You don't learn his name is Royce until the very,
I think
very,
it's like
very end.
one of the last
movie.
lines of the movie.
Yeah, it's one of the very last
In
lines.
fact, a lot of these characters, their names are never revealed in the movie.
Yeah, only a couple of
Yeah,
them.
like Isabella.
Unless you have captions on,
Well, how do you get it from captions?
because it says stands and then it
Oh, right.
he does
okay, that makes
something, or it
sense.
says Isabella and they say something, or
True.
little stuff like that. Like it says Royce's name
Yeah.
in the captions.
That's the one thing I don't like about captions. Sometimes
so-
it's a spoiler.
Yeah, they will spoil it
Yeah,
sometimes.
like you hear a voice and it's like you don't know who it is, but it says who it is. Like you're talking about.
It depends on who's writing the caption, on who does the captions.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some shows where the captions, they don't do that, where it'll just say voice or whatever, and
Sure.
then later on they'll correct it and they'll tell you who it is. And so it's kind of like, I think it depends on whoever's doing the.
That makes sense. I love it when you catch a wrong caption.
You know,
You're like,
so.
what?
Because there's people, you know, that get hired that's all they do is they just sit there and they just type stuff up. Of course, nowadays you have AI, so it's probably
Dude, I'm scared of AI. I ain't even fronting, dude. I think it's gonna ruin everything.
I tried. I've been experimenting with an app. It said, which I'm not happy about, but it said free trial for 7 days. So I'm like, okay, click, bing, charge $7.99, and I said, you.
It said free though.
So I don't know what I did.
It's like, no, you can have your free 7 days later.
I don't know how. I don't know where.
Anyway,
So I've been but I've been using it. I
y'all
paid for
beware.
it, so I've been using it. But just to help write some stuff,
Yeah.
little things, just to see, just playing with it.
What's
It's interesting.
What would you say Danny Trejo's name is in this?
Chuchillo.
Chichillo. That's a cool name.
Chuchillo.
And he is a Mexican drug cartel.
Yeah, cartel.
Enforcer.
Yeah.
Again, him playing one of those freaking bad dudes, man. You know his policy on that is he doesn't mind playing villains.
Yeah.
But his thing is like if he plays a villain, he has to die.
Oh yeah, they got to be. Okay.
Yeah, he has to be killed. He's like because he doesn't.
They don't win.
Yeah, he does. He's exactly.
Bad guys don't win.
Yeah, he's like he doesn't want to give that message that you can be one of these guys and survive.
Right.
You know, so which is cool because I can't remember any other time where he played a bad guy that didn't get it.
Right. Well, it's like he pops up and starts pulling his guns, and then a third guy, parachute never opened.
Not so fortunate. Which you got to wonder what kind of movie would this been if there would have been another guy? Like
it's like what? Who was he though?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Who was he?
He looks like an American soldier, based on his uniform.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it was Dutch. Little do we know Schwarzenegger's in this, and there he was. Yeah, they're gonna kill me at the beginning. He's gonna make a blockbuster movie.
So
I was president of California.
Oh man,
Now, this is where we're introduced to Oleg.
Nikolai.
Yeah.
Nikolai.
Who's got
A minigun.
A minigun, which it's not. I don't believe this is the same one that was used in T2 and the original Predator and Scrooged. But it's made to look like it. And
well, yeah. I mean, why would it'd be kind of weird? I don't know. It's a long time. That's a big difference between 2010 and the 80s.
Yeah, like 87. And well, I'm just saying. I'm sure that gun. I'm sure it's somewhere. Probably in like a closed down plant in Hollywood or something like that. Schwarzenegger's got it like on his mantle.
Yeah.
But for anybody who didn't know that the original minigun was used in Predator was also used in Terminator 2. Schwarzenegger uses it in that, and Scrooged at the beginning with the Lee Majors thing.
Lee Majors.
Same prop. Because a lot of the studios like Scrooge notes. Next year.
I have notes for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to see my From Dusk Till Dawn notes? You do Scrooge, I'll do From Dusk Till Dawn. What movie are you talking about? At least Danny Trejo's in mine.
Oh.
Okay, so
I'm gonna have to edit the shit out of this one.
oh yeah, for sure.
I was just talking about that yesterday.
You got your work cut out on this one, man.
It'll be okay.
Okay, but like, I love that he's just like blasting, and then Royce comes around and puts the gun to him. He says something like, he's like, please stop. Or he's like, please stop shooting at me, or something like, please stop doing that. I love that he says please. It's like, why not? And then he's like, how do I know? He's like, because we wouldn't be having this conversation. It's like, I want to.
You're shooting at the wrong guys.
Yeah, it's like, how do I know? Because we wouldn't be having this conversation. Because I would have killed you already. This is freaking gun. Which that gun, I love Royce's gun, dude. That is a AA-12, which is an automatic 12 gauge shotgun.
Yeah.
That's a bad dude, man.
I've seen people make comments about it and stuff, and it's like, I want one.
I want one. Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know if they still make them. I think it was very short term made weapon. So the AA-12, awesome gun. Movie's full of awesome guns, really.
Yeah, that's one thing. I wish I knew more about guns, and I wanted to take the time, but I was like, dude, this. If we took the time to go through each one of the guns, because even the pistol that Hanzo has.
Oh gosh, custom 9mm.
Freaking dope.
It is dope. That is such a dope.
Because now I'm gonna have to stop and show pictures of the guns on the screen.
Well, have you ever gone to the website, the movie gun website? It's like IMGDB or something like that. But you type in any movie, it'll give you a list of every gun used in that movie in the description. Yeah, it's awesome. I do it all the time.
Huh, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I'll have to look.
RoboCop's gun's just basically a 9mm Beretta that shoots 3 bullets at once. That was a friend of mine knows the guy that designed that gun, or his dad knows the guy that designed that gun. He's from Dallas.
Oh.
Speaking of Dallas, speaking of Texas, we should really point out that this movie, 60% of it was filmed in Texas, in Austin.
Yeah, 60% was shot at the Troublemaker Studios, which is in Austin, Texas.
And the other 40% was
Hawaii.
How great would that shooting? I mean, like You'd be in Austin and Hawaii.
Fun.
Fun, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like whenever they land on this alien world, what do you expect? I mean,
Yeah.
and the plant life, it's kind of like, I don't know, the doctor knew some of the plant life, and it's like,
Okay.
where's this stuff coming from?
I had that same thing. That plant, that is a real plant, but it's extinct. That plant's been extinct for like thousands of years. So I don't really know how it plays in that he knows what it is, because that kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
But then again, you look at the trees and everything like that. You're like, okay, obviously this has, because you believe this is Earth.
Yeah.
You just believe they're in the jungle. But she points out, and I also like to point. She says it's hot, and that's something consistent usually with the Predator movies, with the proper Predator movies, is that the Predators they like it hot.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, they all take place in hot temperatures.
Right. They always.
The only ones that don't are the AVPs.
Yeah, which whatever. I don't really take them or leave them.
Yeah.
Like I think they're not those movies. They are what they are. If you like them, cool. If you don't like them, don't watch them. I don't watch them personally. I've seen them. I found them disappointing, but it's also one of those things to almost it's an idea more than anything. Alien versus Predator.
It's a great idea, but it's kind of like Freddy versus Jason. It's a great idea.
I love Freddy versus Jason. It is flawed, all the crap, but I love it.
Exactly.
I will.
Alien versus Predator. Both of them are flawed, all the crap, but I like them.
Fair enough.
I mean, I do. I'm not saying they're great movies. I'm not, but
Yeah.
I like them just
I could
because.
see.
But go ahead.
I could see how they could be enjoyable, and I haven't watched them in years, and I am a lot less critical than I used to be.
Yeah.
Again, disappointment when I feel like something it's kind of like we were talking about, like Venom, Topher Grace, when it shouldn't be hard for that to be cool, and
Right.
to be good, but then when it's not, it's almost like you overcomplicate it.
Right.
And it's speaking of overcomplication, I think I think most people agree the worst of the Predator movies is The Predator.
Yeah. I still have not seen it,
Lucky you.
just because I have not found a free
Oh,
version of it yet that I'm willing to.
and I have no intention of purchasing it.
I'm not willing to watch it. I started to watch it the other day, and I tried to stream it, and it kept skipping, like.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll
Look,
I'll
I mean,
wait.
and again, I'll say if somebody likes that movie, cool. I'm not gonna diss anybody for liking something.
Yeah.
I just didn't. It should have been cool. It should have been easy, but it was. I think it was a case of too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I think you had too many producers meddling in it. I think they tried to make it too much like a Marvel movie. It was a mess too. They start things, they don't finish. So that's my problem. It was a disappointing movie. Does the Predator look cool? Sure. It's got some cool scenes, I guess. But
I don't know. I got about 5 minutes into it, and it was skipping about half a second every minute or so, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
yeah, I don't know. They just made really weird choices in it. Like there's
that's
this, like a main character gets killed kind of in a, like you don't even, like me and Sam watched it together. Other Sam, obviously, not you. But like he gets killed, and it was a blink and you miss it. And then he was like, yeah, whatever happened to such and such character? It was like, no, he died.
It's like he died.
Yeah, when did he die? He got shot.
Yeah.
It's like when? I was like, describe the part. I mean, even though I think I don't like the movie, I'm not going to spoil anything for you because I want you to enjoy it as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll try to whenever I get a chance. So Nikolai is blasting him. Roy stops him. And that's whenever they find out that, that he was in Chechnya.
Mm-hmm.
Chuchio was in Baja, and they look around, and
Yeah.
Isabella.
Says something like, ask her. Something like
He
that.
says, ask her, and turn around and got this hot Israeli chick with a freaking sniper rifle.
The director, Nimrod, originally didn't want her in it. He didn't want a female because he was like, what's she going to be doing? Running around and screaming and just being a prop. But then they brought her in.
I was gonna say who she plays. She's a member of the IDF, which is the Israeli Defensive Force.
Yeah, I didn't know what that stood for.
Yeah, so in Israel, if you're an adult, I believe my understanding is like you have to go
Sure.
you have to go serve time.
Yeah,
You have to be in the military for like 2
Yeah,
years.
there's a few countries that do that.
And so there's some women who excel in it,
Mm-hmm.
and they become badasses, and
And she is.
she's one of them.
Yeah, she's
So,
dope.
yeah, she doesn't come off as too masculine or too effeminate. You know, it's just
Yeah, I mean, she
she's a
really does. She
soldier.
comes off as a soldier, exactly.
Yeah.
And she looks kind of the way that she looks is reminiscent of the female character from the original Predator. You know, who was just a kind of a prop.
Yeah,
You know, that's funny. There was supposed to be like a love scene between her and Schwarzenegger's like, didn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's like,
He's like, we're being
why?
chased by an alien. He's like, and we're gonna go get it on. He's like,
Yeah.
what? So I don't know. Good on him on that, because that's definitely something like. I don't know. I don't think any of these movies really have the whole romantic angles and stuff, you know? Which, you know, a lot of times it just seems like that's they shove those into films. It's like there's got to be some kind of courtship going on, or, you know, which there's one a little bit maybe, but not necessarily, you know? Nice. The light. Feel better?
Yes, I kept feeling like I was gonna kick it,
Kick it!
and that would not have been good.
No. You already knocked it over once and it was fine. So let's not push it. The second time might not be as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's cool. So you got your sniper now. You know, it's like kind of look at it like a group. You know, like a faction here. You know, Royce is the leader. You know, she's a sniper. Like I said, Topher Grace will be introduced and like as the medic, and then Ola or Nikolai's kind of the tank. You know, Trejo, I don't know, just mean. You know.
Yeah, and well, she says, you know, she doesn't know this jungle that she's seen most,
Yeah.
and that she saw some other parachutes come down, and so they go take off to look for some other parachutes, and while they're doing that, you first see Hanzo.
Right.
That's whenever you first see him, and he steps in the mud.
Yeah.
and he takes his shoes off.
Which I think, for some reason, I think that's a really cool scene. I don't know why it's so subtle. Just him kind of adapting to it, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at it, he realizes I can't run in this shit.
Right.
Like, especially wearing dress shoes. Like,
And you know, he does that with the feet and everything, and then later on you see him chewing on a stick. It's almost like, I don't know, like he's really soaking in his surroundings or something. I don't know. That might have just been a choice the actor made. You know, but Hanzo, for a guy who has, 3 lines in this entire movie?
yeah, not very many.
Yeah, he is such a cool character.
Yeah, he's a downright badass.
Yeah, he's possibly my favorite character in this movie.
He definitely ranks up there.
Yeah, I'd like to see more Hanzo. But then again, maybe less is more kind of thing, you know?
Probably.
Has the best scene. We'll talk when we get there. I think it's the best scene in the movie he has.
So Isabella and Royce are talking, and they both find out that they're either military or former military. So they're walking along, and then this is whenever we encounter Mombasa and Stans.
Yeah, dude. Going at it.
Just beating the hell out of each other.
And I mean, that right there shows you the dynamic. Dude, yeah, Stans. Now, he is obviously, I don't know, he's he's an incarcerated person. He's like, you know, he's like career criminal or what.
Right.
I wonder what he did, because he's on death row,
Yeah.
you know, in San Quentin.
Right.
You know.
Well, you know, he's a murderer and more than likely a racist or a rapper.
Yeah, he definitely. Yeah, that's definitely believable based on some of his later dialogue.
Yeah.
You know, which, oh my gosh, dude, like he says some of the worst crap, but like only he could.
Well, it's kind of who his character is why he's able to say that junk.
When he was originally cast in this role, that character wasn't like that. It was more, they said, and they wanted to take the character out because they said he was too much like Hudson from the Aliens film, which was played by Bill Paxton.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that he was too much of that character, so they said, let's X-nay him, but it was like, no, let's go ahead and meet with Goggins, you know, and talk about this and everything, and they did, and they kind of saw what direction they could go with it, and I think it was a good choice. Like I said, that dude just plays a piece of trash so well.
You know? Yeah, he is a Well, piece of trash.
I mean, and he's made a career of it. You know? Well, shoot, I was watching just yesterday. I watched this movie from 2011. I'd never seen, never really heard of. Randomly watched it on Tubi for free. And, it's called Straw Dogs. And the 2011, and he's got a little role in it. And I was like, well, dadgum. Well, first time I ever saw him, though, I think, no, you know, I might have saw him before The Shield in House of a Thousand Corpses. Because he's the deputy.
He's a deputy. Yeah, he's a deputy.
With that long drawn out scene, you know, like, so I don't know. I think I might have saw that first, because I saw The Shield in 2003, so I don't know when House of Thousand came to DVD. Couldn't tell you, because like
It'd been around the same time.
Maybe, but I just know
a little before. House of a Thousand probably would have been out a little bit before, right?
Well, House of a Thousand was weird because it was made.
Well, I know it was made like,
and it didn't come
forever
out, and then
before it came out.
Yeah, then it went to theaters, and then it eventually came to DVD. I know I bought it at the same time as it's 2003, because the Wraith was out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking was.
So about the same time, you know. I don't know. I mean, I could tell you the day first time I ever watched The Shield, but obviously we're not talking about The Shield, you know.
Yeah, 2003 was the year it came out on DVD. I guess it was released.
It wasn't a bad year, you know. A lot of good stuff came out in that time frame.
I graduated high school that year.
I remember that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and I don't know what I did. I had a good time, I guess. Anyhow, so they're going at it. It's already shown right there. Yeah, you know that these two characters are not going to get along, and you know, and even. Ali points out that he's like, I will finish what you started. So right there, you know, Goggins jumped on him.
Oh yeah, which is totally believable, anyways.
And then he says, "Want to get the guy out of the tree?"
Yeah, he's like,
which means he already saw him.
He's like, so strength in numbers, huh? He's like, is that the idea? He's like, yeah. He goes, so how about we get the guy that's hanging from the tree?
Yeah, so he's already seen him. And just like, whatever. I don't care about him.
He just hears this guy screaming for help.
Enter Topher Grace.
Right.
Which, okay, like this kind of always bothered me too. Like, because he's like, do you have a knife? And he's like, why would I? No. But he does have a scalpel.
Yeah, he's got a little knife.
I mean, a scalpel is kind of like a knife. But then again, maybe he didn't even want to tell him that.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's probably so used to pretending.
Yeah.
Because, like, the way that he talks was that, I mean, we're obviously spoiler alert.
Oh,
but
spoiler alert.
But the way that he talks is that, you know, he's a murderer and he's used to hiding that stuff and whatnot. So,
which I imagine he does work in the medical field.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if he's a doctor or a physician, a nurse, or maybe he even works in a morgue or something. You know, like which, you know, I mean,
yeah, there's no telling.
It is a big reveal at the end of the movie that he is like, he's not he's not here as the medic. He is in fact a predator. He's just not an outed predator.
Well, it's like, you know, he knows the name of that damn plant, so you know he's smart.
Right.
So he has some sort of education.
Yeah. Well, I think the most successful serial killers are probably pretty smart.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to glorify them in any way, shape, or form. I used to be so foolish, dude. I did. You know, think about guys like Bundy and freaking, you know, and people still do, man. They glorify these people.
Yeah.
I'm like, you realize they killed real people. They killed people's family.
Yeah. They
you know,
took lives.
Yeah. It's like it's
innocent
like
people.
Yeah. It's like, would you think they were so cool if that was like your parents they killed, or your girlfriend or your kid, or
it's like.
Or your friend's kid?
Why don't you tell their victims' parents or family members exactly how cool you think they are?
Yeah, give me Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger all day. They're fictional.
Yeah,
you know, they never killed anybody.
It's made up. Yeah, there's a huge difference between glorifying the actual acts, you know, of real people.
Yeah, that's like I said, I can watch slasher films all day, but like whenever I start like watching a documentary about a real serial killer, man, these days I'd rather not. You know, I'm like, nah, dude, that was a real thing that happened and could happen and probably does still happen. But I don't know.
There's some stories that are fun to watch, but the glorification of it is.
Yeah, I mean, people should definitely be aware of them.
It's not okay.
Like I tell people, it's like you've got to know Ted Bundy existed. You know, you've got to know how he operated. So there was this. Okay, you've heard me go off about the whole Ed Gein Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff. You know, and how it's so like 90% BS and stuff, but there was a guy in Austin. He was like from England or something, but he did kill some people in that fashion and possibly process their flesh and stuff. And anyway, very similar to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre type murders. And somebody was trying to shove it in my face that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a true story because this happened. Okay, that crime, even though there's a documentary about it, happened after the Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out. So it's like, no, it's not based on a true story. He was inspired by that stuff, but it's like they twist it and make it sound like this is what the movie was based on. It's like it can't be based on a movie that happened before.
Right. Yeah. Well, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is they do that. They said, oh yeah, this is based on true events or whatever, and it's like. Yeah, what happened? Yeah, what happens is I heard a story about somebody who did something up here, and so I'm going to take that story. And then I heard a story about somebody who did something over here, and I'm going to take that story and these 5 other stories, and then I'm going to combine them all into these 4 characters.
Yeah, because when they say like, no, Leatherface was a real guy, his real name was Ed Gein, it's like that's not Leatherface. That dude, he was a grave robber in Wisconsin in the late 50s, and he did shoot a couple people, you know, and whatever. He was mentally disturbed, you know, and made furniture out of bones. But that's where it ends.
Yeah,
you know, or a little human skin, sure. But he wasn't running around with a chainsaw, and he wasn't from Texas. I don't know. I guess the Wisconsin deer rifle double homicide just doesn't sound as good. Grave robbing double homicide, you know. But again, it's stuff people need to know about. It's an interesting enough story, but it was also the basis of Psycho and Silence of the Lambs. So if Texas Chainsaw Massacre is just as real as Psycho and Silence of the Lambs, which there's all 3 works of fiction.
Yeah, but it's based on, inspired.
Yeah, by actual events. Yes,
actual
those events
events.
happen. It's based on event. You know that part where he gets in the car and drives? That happened. You know that part where the 2 people are talking and drinking coffee? That happened. Those are actual events. Don't you understand? He was alive. That happened. Anyway, so yeah. Were we talking about Predators? I don't even remember.
I'm going to...
Just watch the movie. We're going to... Good movie. Watch it.
It was neat. It was neat.
Yeah. But so I do like the gag, though, switching back to that where Topher falls in the water.
Yeah.
He panics for a second, then he just kind of stands up, Which I like it because it's an old joke,
Yeah.
But he did it subtle. He just showed that moment of panic, you know what I mean? Opposed to being like, help me, and then where somebody would like stand up, but he just like, okay, So he gets up, and then put me back on track here. So now we've got our entire team. Our team of Predators.
At this point, we're about 10 minutes into the movie, right? And yeah, he falls into about waist deep water.
Yeah.
Then you have Mombasa turns around and he sees Hanzo, and he's standing there staring at the she calls it a totem.
Yeah, that is the part where I got up in the movie and griped at the people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that totem, and because I was like, then okay, I'll always remember that. But yes, that totem, that piece, like alien sculpture type thing.
Sorry,
you're good.
That was loud. I apologize. I'll try to edit that. But yeah, so you see that totem. It's like an altar, basically.
Yeah, because it's got a bunch of like bones and such under it.
Yeah. This is, I got skull and bones piled up beneath it. So they're exploring options about where they are and why they might be there.
Yeah. Oh wait, don't forget though where Stan does his smooth freaking line on Isabella when he compliments her derriere. Your A is awesome. I can't believe she like. That's where there would have been a love scene if they were going to put it in this movie. That would have just melted any female to have a convict, a little redneck convict. To like, she turns around because she can feel his eyes on her, and he's just like, "Your A is awesome." At least he owns it, At this, he didn't try to like look away or something. You do that, you get caught like looking at something you're not supposed to be looking at. You're like,
yeah, no, he was just like, yep, it is what it is. I've been locked up for years, and yes, I'm enjoying my view.
But you might have felt that way about anybody in the party at that time. Yeah. Hey, Nikolai, your A is awesome.
So they find out that almost all of them were fighting whenever they were taken. I think probably only a couple of them weren't actually in the middle of a fight.
Yeah.
Because you figure Stans probably wasn't in the middle of a fight.
No,
he was in prison.
He could have been though.
He could have been in a fight,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about like a war fight.
Right. Which
Obviously Edwin Topher Grace wasn't in it wasn't in war.
right.
Because these other guys show up with freaking guns and stuff, like
Yeah, 'cause- and they say they were-
fully
they were in
strapped.
battle.
Yeah, they were fighting. So you had predators, which is this is such a cool concept to think about, though, is you've got predators that are observing people on Earth that are taking time because obviously we know they have a cloaking device.
Yeah.
So a predator could be doing his homework on somebody, and you'd never know.
Yeah, and and it makes you wonder, and I'm sure, I do believe there are graphic novel spin-offs, but I don't know how deep they dive into some of this stuff. But it's like, who set that up? Did those predators set that up, or did somebody else set it up for them?
Yeah.
Is it a different species that maybe goes and does that? And finds it. And why do they do it? Did they do it because they just want to be there? Maybe it wasn't hot enough on Earth anymore. Something like that. Or this was just a really good idea, because it was a good idea of somebody. Some alien somewhere been like, and somebody's getting paid off it too.
Yeah.
Some aliens getting fat paid.
But I don't know. I mean, I think it's just a really cool concept because because they're not just picking random people.
No, like you said, they because in the first two Predator movies, they kind of,
I wonder if they get to pick their prey.
I don't know. It's a good question, but I think they picked their like lions. You know what I mean? Because they were kind of said that in the first one, Schwarzenegger was sort of the lion of his pack, just like in part 2, Danny Glover's the lion of the pack, and those are the ones they go after last. So maybe they said, just go get us lions.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm sitting here thinking.
This is 3 predators.
Is you have, what if it's? I mean, do these 3 predators have a say? I wonder if they, did they have a say in? Are they part of, hunting? Selecting their prey and selecting the humans, or not just humans? We learn it's not just humans,
right?
That they're going to other planets and collecting other aliens, and they're killing them as well.
Yeah, I think humans are just one of their favorites. Because think about it, the predators do not have a good record against humans. Like.
No. Well, those are the ones that we know of.
Sure, yeah. Oh man, dude, I doubt there'd ever be a series, but a series would be great. Because we know the Alien and Predator, obviously the worlds are crossed. That was a big deal when it was first. It was a joke originally, in Predator 2, that there was an alien skull in there, and then they're in the same world, but it makes perfect sense for them to exist in the same world. And then again, that's why Alien versus Predator was such a cool concept. Right now in comic book world, there's Predator versus Wolverine.
Oh, really? Yeah. I've seen something like that.
Oh yeah, you would have seen it in the group. It's
Yeah,
probably the same place I saw it. I'd like to read that story, because Predator's taken on like Batman and stuff in the past. I know Aliens. Superman took on the aliens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had the first issue of that, but I never finished the whole thing. But what was cool in that story was that Superman was so far away out in space from the sun, he was weaker. So he wasn't full blown Superman. Like he could still get hurt.
He's just like a normal Kryptonian.
Yeah, I mean he could still fly and things like that, but he could be hurt.
Yeah.
And he got like the acid in his eyes. It's bad day. Yeah. Alien acid in the eyes, never good. I always hated that about xenomorphs. I hate xenomorphs. I mean, I like the movies. I like them in the movies, but I hate xenomorphs, man. Like, I hate that they have acid blood. I'm like, that sucks so bad. It's like I'm gonna hurt you, which can hurt me.
Whenever you learn what they're for, it's not until you bring in the whole predator aspect of it about using xenomorphs and stuff also, and then you have a whole new thing with the Prometheus and all that stuff. Yeah, and I just watched Prometheus just recently. I rewatched it. So they're lost. They're all flabbergasted, right? Mm-hmm. And they're trying to. He's headed to higher ground or something like that.
Yeah, that's what he says. He wants to get the higher ground.
Right, and she's like, "Hold on, you want to see something weird?"
Oh wait, no, hold on.
She makes a little compass. Go ahead.
This is did we skip over the? No, you're right. I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah,
because she does this first, and you see the compass out of the leaf and the stick, and the sucker just spins.
Yeah, which is funny. Like some I'm going to point out when they're talking, trying to figure it out what's going on, and then one of them, maybe Ali, he says like maybe we're dead, or maybe Trejo said it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being in a situation where somebody says maybe we're dead, and everybody's like, maybe. That kind of makes sense, you know.
That would make a lot more sense.
Yeah,
than
like
whatever's
anything
going on.
else.
Yeah.
They're like, this might be that can only explain it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, but Roy's like, I don't think you need a parachute to get to hell. You know? What do you know about it, Royce? Purgatory.
Well, yeah, because she does that with the compass, right, and it spins, and then he says something about the
Yeah,
sun.
he's like between that and the sun,
It's
we're in trouble.
What's wrong with the sun? He goes, it hasn't moved since we got here.
Because you know, obviously he's using it to use the sun to know what time it is and your directions and all that stuff. You know, if you didn't know that, there you go. I'm sorry if you missed grade school. So yeah, but now from that, where they establish that.
So after that line comes down the list. Royce goes down the list of where all these people are from.
Right.
And he says Spetsnaz, Cartel, FBI, Most Wanted, Hakuza, the Sierra de Leone Death Squad. And he goes, the only one that doesn't fit is the doctor.
Yeah. And that's where I was like, well, he's the medic. You know?
Yeah.
I was like, that makes sense. They're going to give him, they gave him a medic to, help
Yeah.
like the cleric of the group, you know? Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, right.
Which is great, though. I loved it that I was wrong, you know? Because if there's one thing that bugs me in movies a lot of times is predictability,
Uh-huh.
you know? And if you fool me in a good way, I'm happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't really know. I don't know. I can't tell you what I thought because that was 2010.
Yeah.
That was
Don't.
crazy time.
No, I thought you were about to do the math and say how long
Well,
ago it
no,
was.
that was back whenever. That was at the beginning of.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, did I do that right?
What? I don't know.
TJF.
Oh, to Jeff. Yeah. Yeah, it was 2010. Right on. It still survives as a group, but that's it.
Yeah. Because I just moved back from.
Hey, I got
we
a
went to
gold Hollywood Malenko because I got a lot of stuff from TJF actually. No money, but a lot of cool stuff. You want some jerseys? That don't fit me.
I think I got something that doesn't wash off. I'm just kidding.
Hey, what you do at the
I
gathering?
only
your
went
business.
to one gathering. Calm down.
Yeah, you went to the better. It was a good gather. That was a good one. Next year was crazy.
So they're walking along. Is this? That's not when they find the
dead man's trap.
No, that's whenever they find the cage first.
Right.
With the parachute draped over it. The parachute dropped in.
Yeah, it's like a crate of sorts.
Yeah. Well, that's whenever you learn that it's not just humans
there's
that
other stuff
they were
being-
dropping in.
And I want to say that creature. Well, we'll get there. We'll talk more about it when because that's the one that they bait to try to get. Where they got Topher Grace out there as the bait.
Yeah, that's the one that
I want to say that's called a river ghost for some reason. I don't know if I made that up, but for some reason in my mind that's called a river ghost.
He totally just made that up. 100% just made that up.
I might. It's one of those things. Like I said, there's some stuff like because like I got to tell you about something we haven't got to him yet, but the character Nolan, like. My understanding was that was originally written to be Danny Glover's character Mac from Predator 2. I read that or something and thought that forever, but then Robert Rodriguez said he didn't want any references to anything but the original Predator. But I also know that Danny Glover and Arnold Schwarzenegger were contacted about this movie, about having cameos or something. So that brings you back to the theory that he would have been Nolan. So I don't know. I researched it a little bit. I did the most basic bear research I could and moved on with life.
Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot of extra. I just kind of wanted to just talk about that movie from my own thoughts and opinions without having too much outside influence. I wanted to bring some, but not a whole lot.
Well, I don't, like I said, these are things that I just wanted to fact check before I got on here and was like, oh, this is that and that and this.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
And then that's kind of like just trying to verify my sources and stuff. And if I can't do that, then I don't want to do that,
Yeah, so the parachute is empty, or the cage is empty, except it's got like some skin-looking stuff and some bugs crawling around.
Yeah, something. Real quick, still talking about Adrian Brody. He put on something like 50 pounds or something for this role.
I can believe it.
Yeah, of muscle too.
Yeah.
And I remember, and it was either an interview, maybe it was on the commentary. Robert Rodriguez was talking about because he said every day, freaking, he'd be out there working out and stuff, and he's eating this real nutritious food and just constantly doing push-ups and stuff. And Robert Rodriguez sitting there eating fried chicken, talking to him. He's there, he's like, "Oh, I'm a jerk."
Well, it's you look at Adrian Brody in any other role, and he doesn't look like that.
He's a very slender person, you know, and there he still has that slender physique, but he's pretty built up.
There was another movie he did either right before or right after that, around the same time, where he's a prisoner or something, and there's some sort of fighting.
Okay, I've never
deal.
seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, with what's his name with the lazy eye?
Debo? No.
He's such a good actor too.
Oh, Morgan.
Yes, that guy.
Forrest Whitaker. Finally, we got blessed. Say his name. Forrest Whitaker. His name is Forrest. You ever watch that baby Forrest Whitaker thing?
No.
Oh my gosh. Key and Peele, baby Forrest Whitaker. Oh, you gotta see. You gotta watch it before you leave. I'm gonna make you watch it.
I don't even remember why I was talking about.
Oh, you're talking because he's in the movie with Adrian Brody.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess he was doing his little.
He's like, well, I'm already.
He's like, I'm doing action flicks right now, and then he went back to doing Wes Anderson stuff.
Yeah.
Which I like Wes Anderson.
No, yeah, what's not to
like? I like it a lot.
I mean, I could see how some people would just be like, his stuff's kind of boring and weird. But
yeah, if you don't like that, if you don't have that type of sense of humor, then it would be very boring and very weird.
How would you describe it? Boring is weird. Boring and weird.
It's weird. It is definitely weird.
Yeah, but if it's one of those things. If that's what you're getting when you're going into it, there's no reason not to enjoy it.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
But if you walk in and you're like, oh, this is not what I.
Yeah, if you have no idea.
Wow, this sucks.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. Yeah. So whenever they were there, they were sitting there before the cage. Royce tells Isabella, says something about that they were chosen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they get to the cage, and once they find the empty cage, that's whenever she looks at him and she's like, "You said we were chosen. Chosen for what?"
Yeah.
Because at this point, that's whenever they realize we have no clue what's going on here. This is some messed up stuff. Where are we? What is that? This doesn't even make any sense. So they zoom out.
Which also, as an audience member, you kind of don't. You have an idea.
Yeah, that's what I mean. As an audience member, you're just what the hell's going on?
You kind of get. Is this where we get the sky reveal? Or?
Yeah. That's when it zooms out and you see 10 different cages hanging all over the place and stuff like that. But they're about to get.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like they're about to get to that. Yeah, because they do the dead man's trap.
I want to talk about that scene for a minute if we're there.
Yeah, because it's that's where we're at right now.
Okay. What made that scene so cool? Not only was it cool, with the watching the traps and everything, I thought all that stuff was neat, but that is a callback to the original Predator, because that is very much the same way that Dutch, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, battled the Predator, with all those booby traps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this time, instead of because the guy down there, he's a U.S. Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Named Drake. Apparently, there's a graphic novel about him. But opposed to Drake beating, the Predator like Dutch did, the Predator didn't fall for this or whatever this time, and it kind of shows you right there that this is leveled up,
Yeah.
It's kind of like in Karate Kid too when he goes to use the crane kick on Chosen and Chosen catches it.
Yeah.
It's same trick ain't gonna work again, buddy. Where it's this is the next level. So I really thought that was a really important scene to have that there, and then of course you can see his pistol's been fired. He's out of bullets, and just blasted in the chest,
Yeah, I was wondering about that because that shot, the way it looks.
Was he blasted in the chest, or dude, or did he get a face hugger on him?
See, that's what the online community there's different thoughts on that. Because I saw a deal about that either the beginning of this week or the end of last week. Because if you look at that picture, it looks like He's blasted. It's coming out.
Dude.
It's coming out of him. And so, but then like people say all sorts of different stuff.
He could have got shot in the back.
Yeah, but he's laid up against a trunk
Well, shot in the back and fell back. Why didn't they take his skull?
because of the traps. They wanted to leave him there as a. Maybe they saw the traps and were going to use the traps.
They were just like, ah, crap.
Because it's kind of
Shot
like
him and left.
someone brings it up. It's like, whenever you have multiple predators, well, we're assuming that there might have been multiple left at this time. I mean, they're all kicked back. What are they doing while he's putting together this? I mean, that's a super elaborate trap, bro.
Yeah, that
it is
took some
way
time.
too elaborate. Like, in my opinion, this is the one place where it's like, that trap was, it's cool. It is cool, but it's unbelievable.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's,
well, for its size.
yeah, yeah.
And for that many spikes and everything, sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have so many spikes. That's the part that's really kind of. It's kind of like, okay, how long was he up there hanging spikes? And they just were kicking back, laughing, watching him. Like, I mean, what were they
They're just
thinking?
doing
It's like, you see what he's doing? Yeah. It's like, that's pretty cool. Okay, okay. Like, are they learning from him? Or are they laughing at him like, oh, that's immature?
Yeah,
It's like, that's a waste of time. I'm just going to come from the backside over there.
yeah, it's like, let's just watch him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, like I said, there is a graphic novel
Yeah.
about him, so
Yeah.
that might be worth looking into. I'd be
Maybe.
curious to check it out, and then it'll answer all your questions. Like, you'll find out that he's like, maybe people were helping him. Maybe it wasn't just him. You know, I don't know.
That's true too. You don't take into account that he might have just been the one that was left.
Yeah,
That the real badasses might have actually already been killed.
yeah. It's like he was
That's
just
why
like,
they didn't take a trophy.
Yeah, like screw that. Screw Norman.
Yeah.
or Drake, his name.
Yeah.
Like, he sucked, dude.
It's like that guy. He barely held on because everybody else made all these traps, and then they used him as bait.
Right, he was the bait.
He
They're
was
just
the
like,
bait.
do you want Drake's skull?
You know. It's like, do you want the bait? Nah.
Everybody knows
I'm
it's
good.
him. It's like,
It's like,
yeah.
nah, I'm
Do you want the
good.
bait? Would you like the bait as your trophy?
Give me some damn bait.
Yeah, or cousin Eddie. All right. So yeah. Anyway. So, but for what it tells in the story, you know, like I said, it shows like the Schwarzenegger character, Dutch, wouldn't have made it out of this one.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
And he was one man alone.
Yeah. That's kind of the whole statement there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, go ahead and build all the traps you want. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode of the Scarecrow Hour. Make sure to tune in next time whenever James and I continue on with our conversation about Predators, the 2010 Nimrod Ansel film produced by Troublemaker Studios and Robert Rodriguez. James and I thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what's going on, your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Peace.